Welcome to Chad Her YouTube channel. Today I have for you a scary story titled The Voice in the Walls. If you haven't done so, please subscribe and hit that notification button for more upcoming videos. The Voice in the Walls. When Jordan Harper first laid eyes on the old Victorian house on Meadow Lane, it looked like it had been forgotten by time. Overgrown ivy climbed its once white siding, the windows were clouded with grime, and the porch sagged under the weight of neglect. But Jordan was a writer, and writers have a soft spot for places with history and character. He signed the lease without hesitation. The house was cheap, almost suspiciously so. The landlord, a pale and nervously blinking man named Mr. Flanagan, insisted the low price was because of the renovations needed. "You'll hear sounds," he'd said, avoiding Jordan's eyes. "Old houses make noise. Don't let your imagination get the best of you." Jordan had smiled politely. "I'm a horror writer, that's my job." Mr. Flanagan didn't smile back. By the first night, Jordan understood what the man had meant. The house spoke, groaning floorboards, whispering pipes, strange scratching behind the walls. He chalked it up to old wiring, rodents, settling wood, all explainable. Still, he kept the lights on. On the third night, he heard a voice. It came faintly, like a distant whisper through a tin can telephone. A slow, dragging syllable behind the bedroom wall. A woman's voice. "Jordan." He froze, the hair on his neck rising. The sound stopped. He told himself it was just the wind or a trick of acoustics. He went back to bed, but the voice came again, and again, every night after midnight, always the same voice, always his name. He tried recording it. Nothing ever showed up in playback. The mic would catch creaks and footsteps, but the whisper, silent. He invited a friend over. Maya, an audio technician who had helped him before with sound effects for an audiobook. They set up sensitive equipment, microphones all over the room. Nothing. "I don't know," Maya said, puzzled. "Either your walls are haunted or your brain is." Jordan laughed weakly. "I'd prefer the second one." That night, Maya stayed over. She slept on the couch, promising to let Jordan know if she heard anything. She was gone by morning. Her phone was on the floor, cracked, the front door wide open. No sign of a struggle. She didn't respond to texts or calls. By that afternoon, the police were called. They found Maya in her apartment, safe, unharmed, confused. She had no memory of going home, but she remembered the voice. "She said your name," Maya told him over the phone. But then, there was another voice, a man's. He was angry, and he told me to leave. She paused. "I think he was inside the wall." Jordan couldn't sleep. He started researching the house, its history, previous tenants. Not much came up online, but he made a trip to the county archives. That's when he found it. 30 years ago, the house belonged to the Weston family. The father, Arthur Weston, had disappeared after his wife was found dead, sealed inside a hidden compartment in the wall. No charges were ever filed. Arthur was never seen again. The body was discovered during renovations by a new tenant, who later claimed to hear voices and was committed to a psychiatric hospital. Jordan returned home and started knocking on walls. Behind a closet in the upstairs hallway, he heard a hollow thud. He pried away the plaster. Behind it, he found a small, windowless room. It was lined with scratch marks, old stains on the floor, a rusted nail sticking from the wall, and a journal. The first page read, "She won't stop screaming, so I made the walls eat her." After that, the voices intensified. Now they spoke to him all the time, sometimes pleading, sometimes mocking. Jordan didn't sleep. He barely ate. He wrote obsessively, trying to make sense of it all. That's when he discovered the crawl space beneath the house. It was more than just insulation and wiring. There were tunnels, narrow ones, lined with wooden beams and spiderwebs, barely tall enough to crawl through. He followed the sound of the voice, the woman's voice, through those tunnels. It led him to a wall, and then it spoke clearly, louder than ever before. Behind the brick, "Free me." He clawed at the bricks with bare hands until his fingers bled. Behind it, he found a bundle of bones and a lock of matted black hair. He screamed. The tunnel shook. A hand burst through the dirt beside him, long and gray with broken fingers. He scrambled out, dirt in his mouth, his ears ringing. From then on, the voice wasn't just in the walls. It was in his dreams, in his thoughts. Jordan fled the house that night, renting a motel 2 towns over. But the voice followed him. He saw her reflection in mirrors even when he was alone. He heard her whisper through static on the TV. He felt her standing behind him every time he sat down to write. One night in the motel bathroom, he looked in the mirror, and it wasn't his reflection looking back. It was her, eyes wide and pleading, lips mouthing something silently. "Let me in." 2 weeks later, Jordan returned to the house. He brought a crowbar, gasoline, and every note he had taken. He poured the gas along the crawl space, the floorboards, the journal, the walls. Then he lit the match. As the flames spread, the walls screamed, not creaked, not cracked, screamed. Dozens of voices, hundreds, all from within the walls. He ran. From a safe distance, he watched the house collapse into flame and ash. But as the fire trucks pulled up and sirens wailed, he heard one final whisper in the smoke. "You let me out." Epilogue. Jordan was found a week later on a hiking trail, writing on the back of receipts and napkins. He had no idea how he'd gotten there. The notebook he clutched was full of strange, scrawled dialogue, conversations between him and someone else. Only one phrase was repeated again and again. "I'm still in the walls." Thanks for listening, brave souls. If you enjoyed this tale, like, subscribe, and share it with those who love a shiver in the dark. Until next time, stay away from the walls.